We're down there.
So if it's,
Actually, one in there. That might want to get.
Realtor.com says it's assessed at
Let's
five.
get back out of that.
They assess it at five.
One. Like double numbers, and that was not my fault.
We have more business today than normal.
You're open.
this is Mr. Daniel Myers or Kimberly Myers.
Welcome, and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. We're helping people around the world communicate for free. Enter your house. If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please wait, and you will be joined under on the right of.
So you have the appraisal?
Thank you. There is one other participant in the conference. Please announce yourself.
The town of Clifton Park, Board of Assessment Review.
Swear on it.
Mr. Myers?
Pretty much.
Mr. Myers? That's it, there. I don't hear.
Hello?
I can hear you, but just barely.
Can you speak up?
Yeah, I can certainly speak up, but I do not hear you very well.
I
Speak up that towards there. So. You're not on speaker, are you?
I'm not.
I heard him all right.
No, we can hear you now, so.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Mr. Myers, this is Dan Keegan, I'm the chairman. I'd like to swear you in before we start the procedure, if we may.
Yeah.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the information you're about to give will be given accurately and truthfully to the best of your ability to do so?
Thank you.
Okay, fine. Tell us about your property here, sir. What you're looking for.
Sure. I will tell you, I'm not sure how to approach this, but just to say that I have provided one property that is very comparable to my own that's sold recently. I also have two others that I didn't document that I could tell you about. One of them is 3 houses away. The scenario is that these are all comparable homes, with different sizes, of course, with square footage, very comparable lot. And my feeling, my sense is that my particular home is set at a higher percentage relative to the true value than are the surroundings. That was the point I was trying to make.
Okay, I'm looking at the adjacent properties here. You're talking about 31 Wishing Well, 11 Wishing Well, 12 Wishing Well, and 7 and 9. They're the ones you're talking about?
Yeah, those numbers are the tax map. Yes, absolutely. With number 11 being the one that was sold recently, it sold on July 26th, 2019. It has a larger lot area, and about 100 less square foot, so it is slightly smaller. But I can assure you the finishing of the homes are very comparable. I was good friends with former owners and help them, do furniture and things like this. Those are very comparable homes in my opinion. I don't know if I have the permission to bring in an additional home that I didn't submit, but tax property live just on the cul-de-sac there is another very, very good comparator. It's slightly larger acreage at 0.56. Its square footage that's another, I think, really excellent data point for what issue value is.
Did you say,
And there's one more house that's in our immediate neighborhood that is listed, but has not yet sold. It's listed first in November of 2019. It was taken off the market briefly, put back on February 8th, and it's still for sale. It was listed, so this is property, Portland Manor, which is adjacent street. I can give you the tax number if it's useful, but it has 0.56 acreage, 3301 square footage, so very similar. And it's currently listed for $525 and has not sold. I think that it was originally listed last year. So between the house across the street, which is at -11, -5, which I mentioned is about 4 houses away, and then this one that's currently on the market on 4 leads. That's really the crux, I guess, of my comparables. And I also tried to provide a table for you that kind of shows all the houses surrounding my home and what their acreage is assigned. So every home I talk about, it's around $105,000 per acre. For some reason, my property is $134,000 per acre. I have a smaller lot, 4 versus almost all these other ones I'm talking about, yet they're all at a lower rate. And then on the structural side, I do this math, and there's 3 comparables that I've provided. One of them, the first one is documented there, which is the -11, 29 Mission Law. It sold for approximately $165 per square foot. And the other 2 comparables that I just brought up, one being the -530 Mission Law, it computes out at exactly $165 per square foot. And again, it's 1340 Manor that has not yet sold at the listing price of $525. That was out at $166 per square foot. So I believe that my estimation of property value that I submitted is justified both by the -11 29 Mission Oil that I gave you and also these other 2. Well, I'll pause there. I think that's a lot. Is this helpful to you, or do you have questions with me?
Yeah. Just looking it over here.
so you listed a $565,000 as the last nearby sale. When was that sale?
You're asking, I'm sorry, once again, you become quiet, and I heard you asking about a sale price in the case, but I didn't know which property.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed the property. The last house you listed that was sold was $565,000. I was wondering when that was sold.
Yeah, okay, that's property, 276-1-5. That's it.
Yeah, do you know when roughly it was sold?
Mission Lane.
Was that sold within the last few months?
No, sir, sorry. That one was the end of 2017, is as close as I can get.
Okay. So mathematically, how did you come up with your 551 number?
I made that, 2 ways to think of the same number, but the one that I would offer for consideration is based on the house that's directly across the street. It's the -11, which is 29. That's the one that was sold for $535 on July 26th of 2019, which is just within, days of when the assessment, the ground assessment done. And so for that one, this is the one I told you I was friends with, and I walked through the house. It's very comparable in terms of finishing, the work, what have you. In fact, before they sold it, they completely redid their bathroom, totally redid it, with a couple shower and tile beyond what my house is made at. And it's sold for $535, 7.619, so that comes out at $165 per square foot. They have a bigger property by 10%. But I'm ignoring that, and I'm just using the back of the envelope to calculate based on square footage alone. If I take their 165, multiply that by my square footage, which is 3343, I come out at 551. So that's the answer to where that number comes from. And the other two examples that I was trying to give happen to come out at almost exactly the same number of them.
So the dollars per square foot often is related to the finishes of the house, you know, what the flooring is like, what the countertops are like, crown molding, all that kind of stuff. You're saying that this other house is similar in that capacity, or is it a little better, a little worse?
I would say it's absolutely similar, and if anything, it's a little better. And the reason it's better, so these are all the same builders, and both about the same time. I believe my house was built spec, and it has some liabilities. For example, in the bathroom, they mixed granite and formica. So all my counter in my master bathroom is not granite. It's about half granite, half formica. The comparable I'm giving you is all granite. The kitchens are very comparable. Again, it's the same area, same quality builder. I provided pictures so you can see that from the front and they're very similar as well. Similar garages. I mean, all these things are similar.
Same builder on that house?
Yes.
Yes.
My understanding is this whole Wishing Well Estates was the same builder, Masteroni.
Okay.
How many garages?
My house has a 2-car garage, and the comparable across the street also has a 2-car.
Well, I'd like to ask our assessor who was sworn in earlier to make comment on how he came up with the assessor for both your information and ours. So, Walt, would you take on it?
I went out, looked at some, tried to find some comparable sales, just like Mr. Meyer did too. And I also pick up one of the sales that I think he was talking about, and that's 30 Wishing Well. That did sell for $565 in December of 17. I also looked at a sale, which was another sale in there, 29 Wishing Well. Did you mention that one, Mr. Meyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Which actually is a $535. So in July 26, 2019. Little different house, maybe not quite as nice. Then I found outside of that development, a couple of other sales that seemed to take me a little bit higher direction. 88 Avenue of the Oaks, very similar house, very same size. That sold for $550, which is in line with what we have. Then I looked at Tracy Court, 16 Tracy Court, and another, but actually a little smaller house, and 18. That sold for $618,000. So I'm getting a little bit more variety there. I also looked at 9 Stony Heights Court, same year, almost just a tad bigger, sold for $570. I looked at Fort Davenport Circle, which is another type of house, very similar, a little bit larger, sold for $660. That was a few years ago. So I didn't really rely on that too much, so I think what Mr. Meyer is telling you is pretty much in the ballpark as far as what his house is worth.
Those other sales you looked at, they all come to approximately the same square footage, 165.
He came up with 151. Yeah, they came up with the square foot prices are for 29 Wishing Well was 165, 30 Wishing Well was 154. There is a little bit of difference in the land, so 88 Avenue of the Oaks came out 158. So they're all right in that ballpark. That's it.
So you're confirming what he said.
Yes.
You said 35 Avenue of the Oaks also was, Wishing Well was, 165 also. They quoted, 13 as 166. 13 Wishing Well is 166.
Yeah, that one I don't have information on this. That one. I have 30 Wishing Well, 29 Wishing Well.
How about 35?
No, I don't have 35 either.
The whole sale price.
35 Wishing Well? That I don't know.
Mr. Meyer, do you follow the sale price for 35 Wishing Well was?
I'm sorry, are you addressing me? I
Yes,
have to admit that I didn't want to interrupt, but I could only tell that people were talking, but I could not hear any of the discussion. I think your speakerphone does not pick up very well, I'm sorry. So if you're addressing me, could you please repeat the question a little louder?
Mr. Myers, you cited two other examples of houses that sold in your neighborhood for approximately 165 per square foot. It was 35 and 13 Wishing Well. Mr. Myers?
There's 35 and 15 Wishing Well Lane.
13. Besides
I'm
those,
so sorry. This is so difficult to hear. You're like, I don't know if you can move closer to the microphone or anything like that.
about 6 inches away right now.
Speak up.
Yeah, whoever said speak up, I can hear.
I have a microphone.
I was just wondering, is that microphone, is the central?
It's on. So
No, you speak towards the spider, not the mic.
Okay, so we're all kinds of confused. Mr. Meyer, can you hear me?
Barely. I can hear you. I can make you out.
is your microphone on?
No, I'm just talking into Dan. This doesn't help talking to him. We're only talking to there and to there, right?
Yes. And to the spot right in front of,
Oh,
Karen.
sorry.
The question was, Mr. Myers, was, do you have a purchase price for 31 Wishing Well Drive, and what's the other?
35 and 13.
Beg your pardon, 35 and 13 Wishing Well. You mentioned those. Do you know what the purchase price was of those and when they were sold?
So I mentioned, I'm just trying to get, I heard you entirely, so thank you for that. I can understand. I mentioned 30 Wishing Well, and I mentioned 29 Wishing Well. I want to make sure I get this correct. And then the 13 I mentioned was on Four Leaf Manor, which is adjacent street, same builder, he's right around the corner. That's the one that's currently for sale. So are you asking for the past purchase price of the last time those houses sold?
If you know it, yes, I don't know. You gave us a square footage price. We didn't know what you figured the purchase price was on that.
Oh, no, I have the, yeah, I'm sorry, I have to, so for 30, it sold for $565,000 on December 15th, 2017. That's 30 Wishing Well Lane, $565,000, and that's 3656 square feet. Okay?
Okay.
Did that come through?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, and then the other one that I'm mentioning is 13 Holy Manor. That's the one that's listed since last November but has not sold. So it's not selling at $525,000, 525, and that's a 3301 square foot with a 0.56 acreage. So again, both of those, all three of these that I pointed out have at least 10% larger property and comparable or greater square footage to the house. And frontage, they all have, stonework and all that. So I really, I'm trying to say these were built at the same time, same builder, same, quality. I hope that answers the question. Please let me know if not.
I think so, yes.
Yeah, what I was looking for was a pattern, maybe houses in your neighborhood, and roughly selling in that 150 to 170 per square foot range. And I just wanted to see whether your house fell in that same pattern. And you're saying, you're asking for,
551,667 is it?
what's that quantity of square foot? Find my numbers here.
That's 165 per square foot, 165,
That's what
which
you're
is
asking?
exactly equal to the one across the street and these other two that I've mentioned.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Mr. Meyer?
No, sir, just thank you. I know this is difficult over the phone and, you know, what's going on in the pandemic and everything, so appreciate the chance to be able to speak with you that you're doing this.
Well, thank you for working with us.
Thank you.
We'll be taking this into consideration, we'll be notifying you of our decision, and thank you very much for talking. Stay safe. Have a good day.
Okay, you too, thank you. Bye-bye.